Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be trying Post Road Pumpkin Ale by Brooklyn Brewery out of Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for joining us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and, yes, somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. I've got the gang back to do that again, and we are excited to review another beer because we like this. This is our fun times. I got Andy in the attic. I got Che. Hi, Ben. What are we drinking today?
We're going to go up to Brooklyn Brewery. We're going to have their Post Road Pumpkin Ale. I know Ben has a special story behind this one, but let's crack it and let's drink.
Yes, yes. My former stomping grounds, Brooklyn, New York. So
Ben didn't tell me it was going to spew all over me. So I'm
pumpkin
wearing
beer, really? How about that?
I am wearing the pumpkin.
Be the pumpkin.
It's not officially pumpkin season, which is, if truth be told
later.
here, but
It's pumpkin beer to be cellared.
I don't know.
Wiped it on my shirt.
How did it spew?
Match my pants. Apparently nobody else had theirs shaken up like mine, huh?
Nope.
Get
I
that
shook up
nutmeg.
one of them, so don't know which one it was. Obviously, you found it.
Yes, it's all over my pants.
All right, I'm ready to drink this one.
There you go.
Bet.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mates. It smells pumpkin.
So I'll get the party started.
Go for it. What you got?
So Post Road.
Is this our first Brooklyn? Before you get started,
This is our first Brooklyn.
Wow.
And
Fitting.
it's unfortunate, yes, that it has
Fitting.
to be a pumpkin beer. Post Road, the pumpkin ale. It is 5%, 24 IBUs, and it's made with real pumpkin. As you can, and it's a seasonal. Goodness, available from August to November. And again, pumpkin and nutmeg, and the nutmeg is really coming through. Brooklyn Brewery out of Brooklyn.
It was a pumpkin.
New York. It was founded in 1988. The founders, there was two of them, were some homebrewers. They had other side jobs, and they lived in the same building there. And yeah, so they're like, you brew, I brew, hey, let's brew. So yeah. Interestingly, so the brewery distributes to over half of the United States, so more than 25 states and over 30 countries. Yeah, I guess one of those places. I haven't seen them in Mississippi. Have you been?
I was going to say they're in 30 countries, but we can't get them in Mississippi.
Yeah.
What a shame.
That is a shame.
What did you say? 25 countries? So only, 25
I said
states,
over
so
30
half?
countries. It says over, they say that they distribute to over half of the United States, but they didn't say how many states.
Yeah.
Do they get to Alabama? Have you seen them down there?
I don't know that I've seen them at Alabama. I've seen them in.
How about this in Georgia?
Yeah, I've seen it in
next
Georgia,
door.
and I've seen it in several of the airports when I travel. I mean, it's from that standpoint, it's pretty well known amongst the travel circuit, I guess would be the way to look at it. Airports and hotels and things like that.
when I was doing some research on this one, they had talked about the history of brewing in Brooklyn itself, not necessarily Brooklyn Brewery, but of course, that was the hub for immigrants coming through. They said at one point, the city of Brooklyn produced over 10% of all the beer in America because of the German and the Austrian brewing immigrants that came through. I thought that was pretty wow. This one place over 10% back in the 1800s. So pretty significant.
I can picture it, but it probably wasn't 10% of all pumpkins.
They probably had 80% of all.
There was probably no such thing as a pumpkin beer back then.
Yeah.
If anything, pumpkin was accidentally fermented into a wine or an alcohol.
So Ben, you want to give us a little tidbit of your history on this?
Ben, let's go first.
As long as Andy's done.
I can be done for you, Ben. I can stop this. This train stops at any point.
All right. So I did live in Brooklyn for about a year and a half or so there around Borough Hall. And so the first time I had this beer was at Pete's Tavern on Atlantic, which I just looked up before we started here. It looks like it's no longer in business there. But this was for me, I was, really thinking through it and talking a little bit to the guys here before we started. Prior to really, this for me was really kind of a turn the corner beer in the sense that I like to try different things back then, but I wasn't really heavy into trying a lot of stuff. I still was kind of shying away from some of the more craft beer, and really the things I was trying was really more macro stuff. And then I had a post road at Pete's Ale House on Atlantic, and that kind of changed everything for me. I started drinking more craft beer after that. I really liked it. I had it. It was on draft. I had another, I tried some other stuff like 6 Point, some other things that were, in the New York area. And that was kind of for me really when I really started drinking craft beer. And that was probably around 2010, 2011, somewhere in that time frame. So when I was at Total Wine in Alpharetta, Georgia, I saw Post Road. I had not had it in at least 10 years. I saw it. I grabbed 2 6-packs. I knew I would share it with the guys. We would do it on the show. And so here we are. And, I if I'm going first here, which I think I am, even though I've had it, Hopped Up Beer Review tradition.
Stop right now.
Just says, hey, no, I'll go first because I'm talking. Look, is it as good as it was the first time I had it for me? No. I still think this is, for me, probably the best pumpkin beer that I've had. And it's what I kind of compare the other pumpkin beers to. And I like a pumpkin beer, so I do like this one. But do I sit here and drink it now and I have the same, like, wow, this is really good as I did when I first had it, some 12, 13 years ago? No, probably not. I mean, I think that, as all of our tastes evolve over time and we get exposed to better beer, this one for me, I kind of probably has more of a fond place in my heart because I remember drinking it and remember that kind of being, again, a turning point in my craft beer journey, if you will. So I do really like this one. If I see it, I will buy it again. It's probably at this point more for nostalgia than anything else. I probably, of the three of us, like pumpkin beer more than the other two guys, if I had to guess, based on, just our conversations. Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean that I just absolutely love pumpkin beer. I want one or two, three, in October, and then I'm probably good. I don't need a 6-pack or, I think one of those years I bought the Elysian pack where it has like 12 beers or whatever in the box. And yeah, some of those stayed around for a little while and ended up kind of going bad. So anyway, all that being said, I do really like this beer. I think it's a really good pumpkin beer. So if you're on the fence on pumpkin beers, for me, this is the one you've got to try to decide if you like them or don't. Is it the best beer in the world? No. Is it the best Brooklyn brew? Probably not. I'm going to give it 7.5. I like it as a pumpkin. I think it's good. Questions?
No
Questions.
you're
Yeah.
good.
Is there a
Questions.
quiz? So
uh,
wait a sec. My takeaway: Ben likes pumpkin beer.
we know Ben likes pumpkin, and you know, Ben, I'll give you credit. I mean, with cold weather, pumpkin kind of goes. I mean, that's the fall type thing. You know, we've experienced some of that recently. Um, I'm not a huge pumpkin fan. This one comes across pumpkin, 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 and nutmeg. Um, but that said, I mean, it's not bad at all. I enjoy it. I'm glad you shared it with us. I'm glad you shared your story with us. I think that's unique, and this was your gateway into craft in a lot of ways. So that's cool. I'm on the fence in between a couple of ratings of where I'd put it. I think I'll probably go with the 7. It's good, but there is a lot of pumpkin to it, and you can smell it when you open it. You get pumpkin. When you taste it, you get pumpkin. But it's a good pumpkin. And like you, I've had a few other Brooklyns, and I'd love to get those in at some point because they do some good beer. This is a good example of that. They're a solid brewery. I hate that Pete's is out of business because that's probably a great place to go.
They had a popcorn machine that was free. You know, that's the one thing. Another thing I remember about Pete's Ale House.
That was their downfall. Should have charged for popcorn.
It could have been, yeah. Maybe they'd still be around. All right, Andy.
You had to throw in a pumpkin beer on us, Ben.
It's not the last one I'll throw at you. We
I
got another one in inventory.
Yeah, I figured, I was the every beer kind of guy, but I can't get on board with many pumpkin beers. And it's funny because I like pumpkin. I like pumpkin pie. I like, the pumpkin flavored things. I like nutmeg. But for some reason, I don't like them in a beer. Although I do like if there's a mild nutmeg, clove, allspice in like with some winter ales,
like a winter warmer.
Yeah. But I guess that mix with the pumpkin in a beer and a liquid, and I'm like, I should be having a good beer, and I'm just having like, what is this? It's like a poor sour or something.
Open
like
your
that.
mind, Andy.
Yeah, I'm trying. I've had so many, and I've been like Ben. I had the Elysian pumpkin mix pack,
pumpkin pack, yeah,
all those, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's like, it's pumpkin all over. pumpkin.
I think we reviewed a couple of those, didn't we? So
I think we've done
a couple of
we've done the Night Owl. We did Night Owl,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we did all the other, like all 4.
The pumpkin.
Yeah, there was
we
like
done all of them, but we've
there
done
was like an
of them,
espresso one.
God, that'd be awful.
Yeah, it's just
coffee and pumpkin together. Yeah, God, it's like pumpkin spice.
I can tolerate
people put that.
I could drink it. I'll finish it, and if I had unfortunately purchased, multiples of this, I would do it just after. It would be eventually my filler beer because it's only 5%, and I just again want to keep that numb feeling going, but I can't give it more than maybe I'm being generous, 5.5. That's what I give it. It's pumpkin.
All right, man.
You're dead to me.
But I like Brooklyn Brewery lager. I like the lager.
Kidding. Why do we do this?
I don't care if I'm dead to you. I'm just like Brooklyn Brewery. It's not you. It's me. It's not you.
It's not you. It's me.
I want us to review the Brooklyn lager because I haven't had that in years. And I want to do more Brooklyn Brewery. After I was researching this place, I was like, yeah, there's a lot there. I haven't had, and there's a few I've
Yeah.
had, but
They have a
We
ton of
might have
beer.
to employ our good buddy over there in Georgia to acquire some for us.
That will be a 6.7 for the Post Road Pumpkin Ale from Brooklyn Brewery. Despite my very amazing and heartwarming story, Andy just pulled the score down. Thanks a lot, Andy.
that's what I think of your story.
Yeah, obviously. So with that, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell. Check us out on all the social medias down below in the description. Come say hey on our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. Have you had other Brooklyn Brewery beer? And what do we need to try next from them? Come let us know in Discord. Lastly, if you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch, we got a link for that too. Glassware, shirts. We've got a new line of bow ties and suspenders coming out
We do?
soon. And yeah,
A new
so check
line
that out. Yeah.
to replace the old line of bow ties and suspenders.
We got new pants that can replace the
Yeah.
splotches from the post road on mine.
There you go. We got all
Have
that
we
stuff.
any cummerbunds?
We don't, but we can make that happen.
Cuff links.
We can slap our stupid logo on everything and anything. So you'll have some Hopped Up Beer Review lamps here soon. Yeah.
Rather pricey artistic logo.
There you go. For Andy and Attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Just end it.
Pumpkin.